Eamonn, you're in Jakarta at the moment for the Australia-Indonesia Business Conference. The PM's had a big focus this week on our region with the China visit. I know you've been watching from afar, but were you surprised at the level of the welcome, the warmth of that welcome, out of nowhere? It's been a terrible few years in terms of the relations between the two countries.
Yeah, and look, I think people are ready to move on. We've all been doing it tough. People have made mistakes everywhere, I think. COVID has been a very, very difficult thing. It's had a huge impact on our economies. Ultimately, this is about countries who want to do the right thing by their own people, who want to get trade relationships up and running. I have to say, though, China is an incredibly important trading partner, but there's so much work going on, here in Indonesia as we continue to grow that relationship too. This is my 6th visit here since the Prime Minister addressed the B20 and the G20 last year. And it continues to grow. The number of Aussie investors here and the amount of investment coming back into Australia is really growing. And, the parallel here for us, I think, is Indonesia is a nation that also carefully plays its relationship with China. It's been very, very careful not to be boxed into a position, and has been quite forthright at times. Yeah. So there is a pretty good parallel here between Australia and Indonesia, and it's great to see it happening. A lot of buy-in. We've got Don Farrell, the trade minister. He's dialing in tomorrow. There's Indonesian ministers coming and going, Australian business, Indonesian business. It's been a very good result.
Yeah, it's something we forget. I think that others in our region face the similar challenges of dealing with the aggression from China. David, Gazard, this turnaround has been quite something to watch, though, in recent days. Can it be believed? Can it be sustained?
Well, where does it go, right? I mean, the relationship is asymmetric. We get that. They're a big trading partner. Don Farrell went up and, first and foremost in his in-tray was wine. The Chinese placed an embargo on wine, and what do we get out of the meetings? Well, they've agreed to a 5-month review process. Aside from lobster, I can't think of much else that really has been on there. There's a whole range of FIRB decisions that have been put on hold in Australia, it looks like, to sort of try to entice the Chinese back. But, the Chinese are now putting pressure on us to go into the TPP after flagrantly breaking WTO rules around the embargo on our products. And why was all this done? It wasn't any overt aggressive posture of Australia. It was really just asking for an inquiry into the origins of COVID. Okay. And for that, Australia's been punished. And Anthony Albanese and Don Farrell will be well aware that should they do something that puts out Australia at odds with China, new embargoes can go on. So all this work gets done to try to get the products back that should never have been placed in the freezer in the first place, for the new ones to be applied. I mean, is anyone talking about the Uyghurs? Is anyone talking about getting Australians that have been jailed wrongfully in China out? Is anyone putting pressure on the Chinese over their hostile attempts
David
across
Gazard,
the South Pacific?
I've got to interrupt. We're out of time. My apologies. David, Eamonn, thank you. We'll talk to you next week.